Hey, what's going on YouTube? Joe here from Metafish. It's been a lot of months. Just super quick preamble. This whole video, I'm just showing off what's available. This is for local customers. Everything has to go. Many reasons, but work's just really difficult, and I have young kids I want to spend time with, and they're getting more into sports and everything. So I've kind of lost my passion for this, unfortunately. I've been at it for 6 or 7 years, and we've been one of the most successful fish hobbyist breeding businesses around. It's not easy, but it's very doable. It's side income for anybody who's looking to get into this. The website's available. If you do a Google search for Metafish or Metafish Online or any of the fish that we have, we'll probably be one of the first people to show up. And speaking of that, I have to say, I didn't even know the site came back online. I've been working so many hours, and my Google phone decided that it wasn't going to send me notifications for those email addresses because we don't ship fish in the wintertime, so we put the website into vacation mode for the winter, and then it came back online. I thought I had it shut off for the whole summer, but apparently a couple people placed orders, and it really stinks because I didn't know about them. They got their refunds through PayPal, but I got charged over $15 in fees for not dealing with it. So don't trust PayPal. I mean, that doesn't seem right. I mean, they have my other email addresses too, and they never tried to reach out to me, I don't think. But I'm trying to deal with it. Somebody ordered July 4th some swordtails, so I'm going to reach out to you and get those swordtails for you. I got really good ones. So the fish have been really good. We've been doing all the maintenance, been feeding them heavy. We don't let any animals suffer or anything, but we haven't sold a fish in like 6 months. So you're going to see a lot of fish today. Everything's available. Especially up here, that's why I'm starting upstairs. I have to get new flooring. I know it doesn't look that bad. My wife just vacuumed, but it's old linoleum, stained carpet, and that's what I really want to do, is get some flooring in this house. Smells like the beagle and affecting our allergies, whatever. So let's start going through the tanks. Everything's available. I'm going to post below a link for the XLS, the Excel spreadsheet, which is going to have wholesale prices for all these fish. It took me years to collect them all, and they're all great breeders. I'm not going to talk too much about them and not go over any prices, but they're going to be wholesale prices, and it's all local pickup. I can't ship these. I have no time, literally zero time, and to ship some of these big fish, it's just not feasible. So these are our names are even going to be hard for me right now. The red Millennium rainbow fish. There's 2 males, 3 females in here. They breed like crazy every single day. I don't even pull the mop though. No time to pull the mop. But this whole tank, when I post everything, it's going to be all the decorations. There's a big gold tiger pleco in here too, and he keeps the tank clean and eats. I overfeed this tank so the tiger pleco gets food, and he's awesome. Excuse me. This tank down here is packed with plants. So this whole tank is available with plants, decorations, filters, lights, lids, everything. And what's in this tank is the best breeding colony of French Blue Star Endlers. So very little filtration in this tank. Got Valsinaria. There's some guppy grass back there growing, and 2 different types of Anubias. That one is just huge, and they do amazing. I've been pulling out of this tank. This tank's made a lot of money for our business. Sold a lot of bags of French Blue Star Endlers, but I don't plan on going to the auctions anymore. So if somebody wants to pick up where we left off, you can make really good money at those auctions. Auctions and fish swaps. These are the blue pink spotted IFGA guppies. The original stock was entered in the IFGA, and then I've colony bred them since then. But This tank's packed with crypts, different brown crypts, green crypts, and then Pogostem and octopus, these long ones. I haven't had time to trim anything. A little bit of guppy grass in the back, and it's actually got pearlweed mixed up in this, which I usually just pull it all out. And I'm trying to get the pearlweed out, even though some people want that, but everything comes with it, a box filter, all these crypts, guppies. If you only want fish or you only want the tank, it's a possibility, but I have to get rid of the fish first before the tanks can go. So this tank's packed absolutely full. This is my best tank of the tiger endlers. Some people also call them snakeskin endlers, but tiger endlers, they're like the yellowish green color, different colors to all their spots, and this tank is just absolutely packed full of Java moss. And both these tanks have Eco Complete in the bottom. These are 29-gallon tanks. They can come with a stand. I'd prefer to sell this whole thing so I can work on the flooring. They both have nice LED aquarium lights, a little bit of dust up top, homemade lids. So those are those two tanks. This one's been our living room tank. We just keep moving younger male cichlids when they very first start showing color up here. It works amazing for 10. We've had as many as 24 juvenile cichlids. When you start getting more than 12, I would say, they slow down on growth but still grow well. Just a spattering of fish in here. There's some of our homemade Apaches that are always super nice for everybody. Everybody wants one of those. That's a purebred red empress. I have quite a few of those available right now. The males took a long time to color up, but now I have a lot of them. Just one of the OBs that came from one of the lines downstairs. I could tell he was a male. And the other ones are Sunshine, and that one's a hybrid from a different tank. He's going to be more red and blue. And then the other two are definitely Sunshine Bangas as well. I have a lot of Sunshine Bangas. And just one big rock decoration, a couple, little mini heater. Some of my tanks have heaters, some don't. And 3 box filters. The box filters are the best, and then just some crushed coral on the bottom. This is a 50-gallon tank. It's 3 foot wide, 18 inches deep, and it's tall, and it just has glass lids. And this tank comes with its own air pump. This group of tanks is all ran off 2 air pumps that are behind it. You get that, the hoses, whatever. So if you don't see it in the video, if I don't mention it, you can just assume that it comes with it. So now we'll get downstairs. And what I'm really looking for is somebody who wants a lot of stuff. Like if you want to start up a business, start breeding in your garage to make some extra money, that I'll give you even better prices if you buy more stuff. If I have to individually part all this out, it's just more work and time for me. So up here's a future breeding group of those red empress. There's 2 males in here at least. Those are both males right there. So there's probably like 3 males. I think there's 2 albinos, but there's the one. He's not growing as big once I moved him into this tank as fast as the others. There's a bristlenose pleco. There's a big old Anubias in here. Some decorations, lava rock, and 3 box filters. This is a 40-gallon tank. These are longfin red rosy barbs. I think they're called rosy barbs. Big old thing of Java fern in here. 2 big things of Java fern. This one's got crushed coral. This one had the black and white sand. Sponge filter and box filter in the back. And these guys are going to grow really, they're not aggressive at all. I have them in another tank too. But as soon as I remove half from this 40-gallon, they're going to grow a lot faster. I'll show you over here. So these ones are available also, these red rosy barbs. They're not online yet or anything, but they're kind of colored down today, but they get pretty red. These are in-house bred rainbow fish. So you got turquoise rainbow fish in here. And these guys are getting close to 3 inches. That one right there is a Millennium rainbow fish female. These are 2 Alvarezi swordtail males, really nice swordtails we bred here. These are all Millennium Rainbow fish. If they're really light colored like that, those are the females. And yeah, I think there might be one dwarf neon rainbow fish in here too, but nice decorations, box filters, 2 of them in there, Java fern in here with crushed coral. This tank's really special to me. This tank could be worth a lot of money to the right person. Look at all the babies in all these shells. These are my multis. This tank has probably made us more money than any other tank. Look at all the babies in there. They're all moms, they're all loving it. We feed them brine shrimp every day. Speaking of which, the brine shrimp hatchery that I built and we've been operating for a couple years, that's all available. We do it twice a day. We actually feed them brine shrimp. So this is the best breeding colony. I got 2 high quality colonies, put them together originally, and they're just amazing. So these are the multifasciatus. All the shells in there. This 40-gallon tank makes more fish than like I said, we don't have time to sell anymore. So this tank, this is like a 130-gallon. It's packed full of hornwort, really nice lush hornwort, and it's got really nice longfin angelfish in here. Some of them are the blacks, which are actually the blue Pinoy. Some of them are the gold, and there's like a couple of the dark gold koi in here. But they were fighting a few months ago. There's some Valsinaria in the gravel. There's a lot of gravel in this tank actually. And there's 5 box filters in here. They're all a little different. They all work good. Some of them have crushed corals. Most of them have the ceramic media. And then some of them I actually like to use lava rocks in too also. So there's sorry about that, 5 of those. This over here, I'd like to sell the whole rack. There's a light up here, but a glass lid. I need to get a little more water in here. It's packed full of Java moss. I mean, like super packed full. People were coming over buying my Java moss in bags. Sorry about the glare. And I was pretty well wiped out, but I've really come back on the Java moss. I mean, those who know like what you could sell this for if you owned a pet store. But I give great deals on it. These are albino galaxy guppies in here. So these are some of the smaller ones. I have a better tank of a more recent batch of them. And this is just a 20-gallon tank, wood stand, nothing fancy. It could use a clean down, just with a wet cloth would clean it up. There's actually no fish in here, so I can sell this 20-gallon or I can move some fish to it. It's just got a plastic lid, just trying to keep the humidity down. I've always tried to keep everything lid tight, at least as much as possible. And you can see the water level's low. There's 3 filters in there, and that's about it. Some black gravel, a few lava rocks. So it'd be nice to sell this whole thing as one. That'd be a whole setup right there for somebody. So I have 3 expensive, these are Pondmaster AP100s. One of them's not even hooked up right now, no. So I got 2 of those as backups. I'm running an Elita 80, AL80. So that one's running in the top, and then I have a linear piston pump. But these are basically backups. So these are available if you want the AP100s. I just replaced the diaphragm on one of them because I used to have one hooked up before I hooked up this AL80, and the other one was working too, but I bought a diaphragm kit and already installed it, so they're basically 100% good to go. I'll double check them. They've been sitting for about a year, but I'm sure the seals, everything's still good. So yeah, those are basically brand new. Up here, no tank to go with them, but there's this is just packed full. You won't even be able to see them, of the Stoller Endlers, a really rare Endler, and they're doing amazing in here. So those are the ones with the double black spots on them. So this rack right here, you can buy the whole rack if you want. If you don't want the rack, I'd be happy to keep it here as well. This is a 100-gallon tank here. I Just put the koi that was out there to a friend's pond. She had a 6-acre pond, so he's going to live a good life with some other koi. So all that's in here right now is box filters, some rocks, lava rocks, a little bit of crushed coral, but blue acaras. So these sell really good at the auctions. People really like the blue acaras, especially when they're about this size. You don't have to ask a lot of money for them. You know, if you get $8 a piece on really nice, healthy blue acaras, that makes a great fish. So they started breeding in here a little bit. There's been some patches of eggs with that 100-gallon tank. Then there's a 15-gallon unique tank here, and these are all custom lids. Oh. So those are my favorite. They're much easier than glass. They don't break, and they do a good seal. There's just one black Goodyear in here. Don, if you still have those black Goodyears, feel free to come get him. He was a stowaway. So this is a 15-gallon tank. There's just some random decorations in there. I think 2 filters. Yeah, there's 2 airlines going there. I don't even pay much attention. I just feed this tank once in a while. So it's a really cool tank, though. It's really narrow. I think it's only like 9 inches, maybe 10 inches wide, but it's long. It's like 24 inches long and pretty tall, so it fits into spaces that other tanks don't fit into. And I can tell this is gonna be a long video, so this tank, it had a crack, and I did a reseal on the back of it, and it had a crack like 5 years ago. And I used like a whole tube of silicone GE1. That's what I do with all my reseals on these tanks. It's just got a background on it. This is Java Fern. This tank hasn't been getting as much light as it used to, so there's a bunch of filters in here. I mean, honestly, it's kind of neglected. This is a 125-gallon tank. It's 5 foot by 18 inches, and it's tall. And it's been an amazing tank ever since I fixed that corner. And yeah, it's just got rocks, filters. Well, my wife's been trying to keep track of what's in here, so she just did that this week. 17 Geophagus steindachnerai in here, and some angelfish as well. They get along really well with the geos, and some of the geos had babies, so I pulled the babies out, and now the babies are in here growing up alongside the adults. So that's kind of that row tanks. These are really nice lids. Did a really good job on them. They keep everything out, and then they're just cut a little bit in the back to let the airline hoses down. This one's got a heater also. Some of these tanks aren't going to be the cleanest. Like I said, I haven't had much time. My wife's been doing most of the stuff down here, but this tank's packed full of blue angelfish. So there's some blue koi angelfish. Philippine blue is kind of mixed into all these lines. So this guy's, I mean, they're kind of like mud angelfish, honestly. Not too much to say about them, except they do have pretty nice blue in their fins. And yeah, they are what they are. And this is, okay, so these are 210-gallon tanks. They're 18 inches wide, just like a 75-gallon. They're the same footprint as a 75-gallon, but they're considerably taller. So there's 210s on top and then 275s on the bottom. And then these are custom stands that I had custom built in, I think it was Imlay, Michigan. 3-4 years ago. They're super nice. They're double bar, double painted. They just fit the footprint for the 75-gallon or the 110-gallon or a 90-gallon super well. So these double stands, like I said, I had custom built, so you can really get under them. You can get your whole head under here. You have plenty of room. I'm just growing some Java Fern down here. There's a Nubius in this bin as well. But maintenance is super easy for these tanks. So this has been a really nice setup. And these aren't attached. They're individual stands. They're just identical. So this one's got angelfish in it too. So these are more of the long fin gold angelfish. They're beating on the one black one down there, it looks like. I don't know. So the one thing about these tanks that I will say is if you're running hundreds of airdrops like I am currently, you kind of have to raise your box filters from the bottom or they don't get good air. The taller a tank is, the more air pressure it takes to use a sponge filter, a box filter. I think most people know that. I should have rinsed this or washed this tank. It gets light. I got these lights hooked up on the corners, and that's all duckweed. Just to show this tank off, it's got some of that brown algae on it, but this is mostly, oh, they're all hiding right now, mostly Sunshine Banga juveniles and Red Empress juveniles. They come out, eat really good. I'll probably clean this tank today. It's got 3 box filters, but this brown algae always builds up super quick because there's just so much light. Now it has this additional light in the back. These lights are all available too. They go with the tanks, whatever. Make me an offer, come talk to me. Just packed full of decorations in here basically. Same with this, there's Java Fern in here, box filter, there's another filter that came detached. And that was just those suction cups. Those tend to get a little bit dry. This is my breeding group. I hate to let these guys go, but I have to. Of the Sunshine Bangas, it's been the best cichlid group I've ever had. So it's not really zooming in on him very well, but that's the male. And he's super peaceful, breeds with all the females, never hurts them, kills them. There's always females in here holding. She's holding right now, I think. Actually, there's not as many holding right now as there used to be. Sometimes he'll have all of them holding in this tank, and one really big albino pleco in the back. And then there's 2 box filters and a sponge filter. And it's just packed with duckweed. I don't know why I keep this light on all the time, but there's a lot of things I could do if I had time. But this tank's super nice because it's one of those old school 75s. Most of the tanks I have are the old school ones, not these cheap Aqueons. And what's really nice about them is the glass is thicker, they're a little heavier, but like this one doesn't even have a cross brace and it's not bowing at all. It won't bow. You fill this thing right up. It's just it'll last 3 times as long, especially between reseals or anything like that, than an Aqueon. This is like commercial grade tanks compared to, I've had some really bad luck with Aqueons. The glass is so thin and cheap, and the plastic they make the top braces out of, they're garbage too. But speaking of the garbage, the little ones are fine. It's the big ones, the big Aqueons, like 55s, I've had bad luck with. So these are all 5 gallons, almost brand new. I painted all the sides. You'll see a lot of my tanks are painted blue. The fish don't like to be, in the open with clear walls. So every tank's got one side painted blue, the backs are blue, and the bottoms are all painted tan for these tanks. These are the Red Volcano Endlers. They don't breed 100% true, so you'll see what looks like black bar Endlers will start forming in them. This one's also Red Volcano Endlers. It's packed with plants. This is not water lettuce, I can't even think of it. Water Sprite. So there's a bunch of Water Sprite up here. Java Moss. This tank's packed. I need to go through it. This is just an empty tank. So if you wanted to buy this whole rack, like all 10 of these tanks, that'd be really cool. You don't have to buy the shelves. They're screwed right to the wall. But you can see how I attached them and everything. Whatever, if you're interested in 10 5-gallon tanks, I'll cut you a killer deal. They're already painted, ready to go, and they all have lids available to them too. So just a random longfin Danio. He's just been living in there by himself for the last 3 or 4 months. Nothing in this tank. This is just a root ball from wow, words are already getting hard for me. Tired. Pothos, the pothos plant that I have kind of growing around the room. There's a couple tanks with the pothos roots. So these are black bar Endlers. These are more French Blue Star Endlers. I like to have 2 tanks of each type. That's what I used to like to do when I was big into selling. These are muck guppies with, yeah, there's duckweed in a few of these tanks. This tank's empty. It's got duckweed. Not a lot for fish. These tanks could go very easily. I can rehome some of these fish too. These guys have been doing really good in this tank. This tank has, I don't know why the light's not on. Oh, I gotta turn it on. This, we'll start over here, I guess. These are all 10-gallon tanks. So these are all 5s. These are all 10s. They all have lids. And yeah, this is kind of a mixed guppy tank. They used to be blue Moscows. There's pothos growing in this one also, and then there's Easter grass. There's box filter back there. Every tank's got a box or a sponge filter. Kind of cool guppies though. A lot of them have that blue Moscow shine, and then some of them have some different colors going through them. So you could definitely pick and choose some really nice males out of those. These are some more Sunshine Bangas. So there's 2 nice males already in here. That's going to be a male too. Some different females. Just a couple filters in this tank. They got lava rock, a little bit of crushed coral. These are the black bar endlers, the most common endler, breed like crazy. Couple filters, nothing special with this tank, pothos growing out of it. More of the Sunshine Bengals. It looks like this is more female heavy, but the males are already starting to look really good. Yep, 2 filters in this tank, just a couple rocks, crushed coral. This tank, I'll probably just junk it, or somebody can have it if they want, or I'll reuse the lid. Or if somebody buys a 10-gallon, you can take it with an extra lid. It starts to leak. This is a used tank. Most of these tanks were purchased new, like this one's new, or close to new. This one was purchased from a fish room, and there's just some little teeny tiny pinhole leak. When the water pressure's all the way filled, it drips a tiny bit. So a tank, it's not worth resealing a 10-gallon in my opinion, so it's probably going to get pitched or whatever. These are the yellow swordtail guppy, or yellow swordtails. Wild caught collection point. Super nice. They're in with this, I forget the name of it. No. It's a really cool grass that I've had a hard time propagating. This tank has been the best for propagating this stuff that I got just a tiny bit from Mac McLaughlin. And it's taken me forever to propagate it. It's also, they have some water sprite in the back. Quite a bit of water sprite actually. But they're doing really good in there. There's some blue acaras here. They just bred. Look how dark they get. So that's the pair right there. Real pretty fish. And then everybody who didn't breed, it looks like they finally ate or moved all their babies. They had babies in that corner. So yeah, they're egg layers. They lay a bunch, and then they were wigglers though, so I don't know what happened. So this is a really nice tank. This is a 120-gallon tank. Probably my favorite tank. Could use a little bit of a glass cleaning, but these are the Red Empress breeders. So there's 2 males here. There's the other one. He's really colored down right now, but he'll color up and kind of vie for dominance with this one. This one always wins and keeps his color, but this one keeps him in check. And then all the females breed really well. She's holding a batch right now that's probably just about ready. They're probably little baby fish, so she's holding too. But these the females in here are probably 4 inches, pretty close. They're full grown. I've had this group. I raised them from just from wigglers, from eggs. I tumbled the eggs that I got from my buddy Brian. So shout out Brian if you're still around. I know you got out of the business a while ago, as I am trying to also. He got too busy with his kids and family life and work. So these are 2 10-gallon tanks. They have lids. They have filters, multiple filters, some different lava rocks. These are snakeskin orchid endlers. Very rare. Somebody from Taiwan wanted me to ship them these not too long ago. They're begging me to ship them. And I'm not shipping to Taiwan. That's just not my thing. I don't have time for it. This tank is Amica splendens. You can see the yellow on their tail is the males. And they kind of look like a trout. They're a really cool fish. They're live bears, but they only have about 8 or 9 babies at a time, but they're very big babies. It's a really cool fish. So I hope these go to somebody who keeps them going maybe, or just enjoys the fish, because I really like them. I wish they were not just pushed in this corner. I don't get to see them too much. 30 minutes already. Thanks for sticking with it. There's a lot more fish to see, but I'm going to try to speed it up here. These are the brine shrimp, so I need to feed this one today. So this is the date that we made new brine, and it's always about 24 to 48 hours from when we do it. We have a heat lamp up here and just bubble them. So I have an airdrop coming down with just a 4-way valve, and that's how I do the brine shrimp. So fish down here get a lot of brine. These are 2 more 10-gallon tanks, good tanks. Breeder boxes are going to start appearing on some of these. Make me an offer if you want a bunch of breeder boxes. I've explained how awesome they are when you're breeding fish. Well, almost all mine are empty. I just keep them on the tanks as extra filter, aeration. They're already hooked up, so there's no reason for me to take them off right now. Some of them have fish in them. This one, no fish. This one, no fish. It just has stuff, sponges and stuff in it for extra filtration. It's kind of like a refugium that people use in saltwater. So these are blue Moscows. This tank's got a bunch of blue Moscow guppies in it, and it's also packed with Java moss. A few snails, but it's got a lot of Java moss. And this light I'm just using for both tanks, so it doesn't really come with a light or anything unless you want that. This one's drilled. I forgot about that. So it's just hooked to the sink here. It's just all these tanks that are going to be drilled from here on out. Not all of them are drilled, but a lot of them are. When they're drilled, I drilled them like pretty high up, just as overflow drills. So it's super easy to, if you don't want overflow drills or they're going in a living room or something like that, it's not difficult. You just take like a glass lid, any piece of glass you may have laying around, get yourself a glass cutter, and you can just cut a little piece of glass and then clean the current aquarium and then silicone that glass on both sides. One side will be fine, but I've always just done 2. And you can, these are like older tanks that have been previously drilled, and you can take that silicone right off if you ever want to hook up some overflows to it or some kind of a sump system. So not very many of these. I'll try to point out when they are drilled. I've drilled most of them. I think these are the only 2 that have those weird middle areas, and then that one over there just has that big piece of glass just for that crack that on that one. But I trust that tank 100%. These 2 not drilled at all. So this is all for sale. This is a manifold, really nice pump up here, and this just let's see, this is a 12 drop pump. Seems to work just about perfect. And I have breeder boxes all around these, and this is where I will tumble eggs, cichlids eggs if I have them. So some of the fish just kind of jumped out of here. So there's some more red longfin barbs in here. There's these long, they call them swordtail Vienna guppies. My camera's not really adjusting to them, but there's a few in there, but mostly there's no fish in here. There's a couple Geophagus I need to move. There's a couple blue Moscows. And this tank right here, I kind of skipped this one. These are the swordfin Vienna guppies. They all have a little different color, green, blue, some reds, but they'll all have a swordtail, at least the bottom, and some of them will actually have the top too. Not very many, but most of them just have that bottom sword, just like these guys. So a really pretty guppy. really unique. And this is packed full of Java moss also. Bunch of little babies in here. And just that one sponge filter, I think. So, yep. Let's try to move a little quicker. Breeder boxes. Nothing in those breeder boxes. These are Geophagus, little babies. And these are more of the swordtail guppies. So I just wanted to see how they would grow in a breeder box with a little bit of Java moss in here. And as you can see, they grow pretty well there. I scooped out some little baby fry. These guys are just dirty, but there's some really nice male Sunshine Bangas in here too. That's why I love the Sunshine Bangas. They're just not aggressive at all. And they're that pretty yellow color, like beautiful fish, and not aggressive. A lot of breeder boxes around here, and anybody who knows these things aren't cheap. These will clean up real nice. This is just, they'll clean up real easy. I'll sell them to you clean. Yeah, this 180 kind of got taken up from swordtails. These are all more yellow swordtails. One of my favorite fish, honestly. Live bear. And just really like them. I think they're just a really pretty fish, and I have the collection point for them. So I have these snails too, and somebody told me these are like African snails and they'll eat the plants. So I've been feeding them. They bred in here. They made more little baby African snails. They're really pretty. This doesn't do them justice. But yeah, just empty breeder boxes down here. These are 180 gallon tanks. If I really don't want to sell these because they're already hooked up. They are drilled. This one's drilled in 2 places. No, this one's drilled in 2 places. The other one's drilled in 3, I think. But I have these blue dolphins, some really nice. Some of these guys are getting to be 4 or 5 inches. So yeah, blue dolphin cichlids. He's starting to get his hump already. That's definitely a male. And all these filters and stuff like that. Light's not on here, but this is just another 75 gallon. Okay, so there's breeder boxes all along here. These tanks are all drilled up at the top. 90 gallon rimless. 275 gallons. And you can see the lids are a little bit different. This one's got glass lids. That one's got custom plastic lids that need to be cleaned up. Tropheus chipimbi, or Tropheus red stripe, packed with hornwort. Really good breeders. A lot of the fish just grow up in this tank. And packed with decorations, gives them a lot of hiding spots. So this is a really nice colony if you're looking to get into Tropheus. They're super fun to feed. A lot of hornwort in here too, so I used to sell hornwort out of this. But yeah, just a lot of decorations on the bottom. The babies hide in them. See, she's got a mouthful right there. She's probably gonna spit her babies into all the decorations. And this one grew up in the tank. Never pulled them out or anything. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. You know. I think there's 3 filters. Yeah, 3 filters in this tank, so it's a 90 gallon. And yeah, took me a long time to get a good group of Tropheus, so they're available. I've shown them off a lot of times. These are just hybrid cichlids, basically. You got some OBs here. I'll sell these as Oscar, whatever food, if you have a monster fish or something. There's a couple decent ones. There's a nice dragon blood there. He's gonna be a cool fish. But yeah, there's a couple males here if somebody wants the males. This is a really nice group. I should have the light turned on, but let's stick with these rows, I guess. I had these stands custom built. They were actually a little bit pricey. I went to a mechanic shop, and they're custom built for 75 gallons on the bottom with lots of room, so plenty of space to get in here and work. And then these are both 75 gallons and then 90 gallons on top, and these are metal, double spray, cleaned stands. So that's just a magnet right there. But yeah, custom, really nice stands. And these 75 gallons are just, this is pretty typical. I mean, there's a couple males in here, but it's mostly females, whatever. If anybody wants them dirt cheap, $1 a piece or something on those females. I don't really care, especially if you're buying a lot of fish. Bunch of filters in here. There's a light up top, but that can go with the stand or the tank or whatever. These, it's not going to look real good, but this is a really nice group. Probably about 20 fish of the Hippo Point salmon, which is an endangered cichlid from Lake Victoria. They're actually one of the least aggressive Lake Victorian cichlids. Both these tanks have just plastic backgrounds on them. And they're not drilled. Oh, yeah, they are drilled. Both these tanks are drilled up top, just in the corners. So you could drain the tank down halfway in silicone glass if you wanted. On the back or the front, or both. And there's just some really cool rocks, like that's a coral rock and stuff. Like these are just kind of cool decorations. That's just pottery. Pottery works good for these fish, especially if you have like a filter that's not getting enough air pressure, which these ones do. I don't know why I have it set up that way. But this tank right here, these are Tropheus duboisii maswas, bred in-house. This tank's going to be a really awesome tank if somebody wants to do like a 90 gallon with Tropheus duboisii. I don't know, there's more in here than it looks like. There's quite a few hiding and some that have already lost their spots. The glare is really bad in this room though. But one of my favorite fish, especially young like this, you know, when I first got into the hobby, these fish, Tropheus, were duboisiis. Used to be $20 to $30 in pet stores. So I'm sure the price has gone up. And they're not maswas. These are maswas, which means they have the big yellow wide stripe instead of the white stripe, which you'll find in all the PetSmart stuff like that. But you want to do basically a tank like this with them. You don't want to mix them with a million things. Just keep them together and it'll be an awesome tank. You won't lose any. This is so these are all 40 gallon tanks. These all can go. These are the custom aquarium co-op, just Lowe's shelves. These are set up 3 high. I had to cut off. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't even remember what I did, but I just sawzawed that stuff off. And then there's they're good. They're nothing special stands. I'll just say that. They just work really well. I put extra pieces of plywood on a couple of them because I wasn't sure. These were the very first tanks I ever set up. So there's 6 40 gallons here. And the only reason they're offset like this is because I have some piping over here. So I couldn't push these back and get them even. So just real quick, that's a 40 gallon there. There's filters, there's rocks. This has got some plants in it with some rainbow fish. We got some Anubias growing nicely over there. These rainbow fish are, there'll be the name in the Excel. They're this yellow rare rainbow fish, and there's not a male there. They're all females. This is the original turquoise breeding group. So they have Java moss, some tank, or some rocks, and just really good breeders, really good eat, fun to watch. They just eat really good, and they have a little bit of gold on their heads sometimes too. The turquoise ones do. So beautiful fish. I love the rainbow fish. They were kind of my last love in this hobby. And this is just packed full of Anubias and Java fern and some rainbow fish as well. These are the babies, mostly turquoise from the ones next door. There's more in there, they're kind of hiding, but mostly turquoise. These are blue Philippine zebra juvenile angelfish. Some of them are probably getting silver dollar size, I would say. There's no light on, so it doesn't look too good, but a couple filters in here, and Java fern, just some sprouts of Java fern and sand, pool filter sand, I think that is. This tank's empty. It's just got a few plants, filters, sand. I've been trying to keep a few tanks empty to make it seem like I'm making progress selling this stuff. But it's hard to have time to do all this. This tank, actually, the tank's not very good. You know, it holds water, it does good. I filled it up right to the top and haven't had any leakage or problems. But this brace is broke. Just FYI, it has, this is just extra food for them. It gets spilled over the side. And these are Tanzanite, another cichlid half. They're like blue golds, I call them. There is a common name for them. But this will all clean up with a razor blade. But it's just a 55 gallon. I spray painted it blue. Yeah, definitely not the best tank because of this brace. And you can see it's fine, doesn't leak or anything, but I don't love the way the silicone looks. This tank, so I have those 275s over here with those custom built stands. I also had these double 55s built, so this is custom as well. It sits off the floor. This is a 55, this is a 55. This tank's almost brand new, really nice tank. It's got a plastic background, smattering of random cichlids in here. That's a Lake Victorian. This is a VC10. Mostly either feeders or females. If you're looking to breed some fish, you can get some females. I have a really nice group of VC10s I'll show you just real soon here. They're beautiful, they're really cool. But everything's for sale. It's all for sale. No gravel in this tank, just a few filters, rocks, decorations. I really like that decoration. Oh, and this right here, this is like a 3 gallon, maybe a 2 gallon, just an acrylic box that I bought off Amazon, but it works really well. And these are Santa Maria Endlers in here. So just a little mini filter in the back, Santa Maria Endlers, and they need to be culled, done a little bit better. Usually the Santa Marias breed pretty true, but I haven't given them a lot of attention. They just get a lot of brine shrimp. These are more Red Empress fry. So this is a cube tank, really cool cube tank. Cleans up really nice. It's just got some algae growing on it right now. Gets a lot of light right here. And these are just all Red Empress juveniles. Just growing up to size, and then some Java fern in there in a decoration. And box filter. Power strips galore. If somebody can buy all this stuff, you're going to end up getting, I can try to do a count, but you're probably going to end up with 500 airdrops, these metal airlines, and they're over $1 a piece, the cheapest ones you can find. And they're already in the pipe if you just want to splice pipe together in some areas. But I'm sure it's well over 500, or close to 500. I got airdrops everywhere. I just installed them everywhere. Been using them everywhere. I have airdrops galore because I basically have 2 for every single tank. Like these 10 gallons right here. If somebody wants to buy this whole rack or something, that's what would be ideal. Because I don't know how I'm going to piece this stuff out. So there's 7 10 gallons on each row. They all have custom lids. They're all set up for automatic water. So I got a message. Down here is the Tropheus duboisii adults. That's a 100 gallon tank with custom lids. They breed in there. There's a bunch of babies in there. I paid big bucks for the Tropheus colonies, but depends on how much you want to buy. But it's going to be good prices. I got to get rid of this stuff. These are more Tiger Endlers, 10 gallon tank. 10 gallon tank, Tropheus, or Alvarezi swordtails, rare wild caught swordtail. Took me a long time to breed this many. They've been pretty rough on their fry, the originals. I have an empty tank here, a couple breeder boxes, nothing in them, just used for refugiums. These are mutt guppies, I think. Yep. I can't believe how many mutt endlers, basically. Alvarezi swords, these are the originals. Oh my gosh, you see that? They actually had babies and they didn't eat it yet. But they're trying to eat that poor little baby. I might go through here and try to save some Alvarezi babies. I mean, that's what I'd like to do. It's Saturday morning, and wife and kids are on vacation right now visiting her sister. These are snakeskin orchid endlers. Both these top tanks have Matten filters, so you can see the Matten filters working up there. So really good filtration on these tanks. Nothing in this one at the moment, so a couple of these tanks are free. These are blue Moscow guppies. I've been working hard to get this group of Moscow guppies. Clean that front. So they're finally breeding pretty well in here. It's got Java moss and yeah, just the blue Moscow guppies. So nice tank. These are Santa Maria endlers and Java moss in here. And you can just tell if you bought one of these how many juvenile baby fish, if you bought the endler group, you get with it. And this is more mutts. These are more mutt fish. And this tank's empty. Just Java moss filter, 2 empty tanks. And these are the red, I thought they were supposed to be red volcano endlers, but there's not. There's a few that look good, but most of them are looking like black bar endlers. So I just pulled half of them from one of those other tanks and put them here, and I haven't done anything with them since. So whatever, you can turn them into the red volcanoes though. I mean, there's quite a few good looking ones in here, and that's, I guess, about half of them turn out to have green in them, which you don't want. But I haven't done a good enough job culling out the colors lately. This tank's empty, Java moss and filter. Down here, this is the 100-gallon tank, and it's full of the Tropheus Maswa breeding colony. You can see some of the babies growing up in this tank. So if you wanted to add them to the juvenile colony, but they breed in here really well. These guys are getting pretty long in the tooth. I've had them for over 5 years, and they were adults when I got them, so they're getting close to their 10, 11, 12 year range. So I would give them away pretty cheap, especially if you wanted all the Tropheus. If you wanted to do a juvenile group and then continue to breed these guys and maybe mix in the F2s. I was told these ones were wild, and they were the last wilds that were collected before they put a ban on them. I know that it's possible to get the Tropheus Maswa duboisii again because of breeding efforts at Lake Tanganyika, or at least that's what I heard. But when I got these, it's been more than 5 years ago. 6 years ago, I was told they were the last ones imported in. That's what I was told. Okay, so these can go right away. These are, everything in that room was drained with top overflows like this. So if you accidentally leave the hose going to the tank for too long, it'll overflow instead of overflowing out the sides of the tank. So in the back, everything's hooked up to tubes and then hooked up to drainage behind the tanks that just drains out. Everything in this room is drilled for back overflows. This is these are 75. So I have 4 75-gallon tanks here. These are painted a little bit different. They have this aqua color, and basically just these are the cichlids, 75 gallons. These are mixed cichlids, some blue dolphins. I'd sell everything in this tank cheap. Same with this one. There's a few nice Apache, which are sulfur head hybrids. There's a few nice males, and there's more males in here also, so when you pull these males out, you'll get more. Nothing special in these tanks, just sponge filters, box filters in the back. They'll clean up nice, and then just random decorations to keep the fish healthy and happy. And we'll go down here. Hopefully these guys show up pretty good. This is my VC10 breeding group. I haven't bred them yet though, but the male's looking good. It's hard to beat a nice big male VC10. And he's just starting to get his colors. And the big old pleco trying to show off. But there's a lot of females in here for him to breed with, so this tank's going to be awesome. It's packed full of frog bit right now, and 3 box filters. That back filters these back pieces, so like I can take this off and clean it and just leave that on, because that's got the automatic water change hose, and it's just kind of permanent. Then it's just real easy to put these back on if you cut your lids like that. So 75 gallon tank, box filters, VC10 breeding group. Could use a cleaning, obviously. That pleco makes a mess eating all the frog bit and pooping everywhere. But these VC10s they're breeding size for sure, and these haps take a long time to get there. So I did VC10s once before, and this is a great group if you are interested in that, or if you just want the male for a show tank. It's hard to beat those. So blue dolphins, random cichlids here as well. 75 gallon tank. There's a couple plecos in here, but nothing special. Box filters. Yeah, that's 75 gallon. I gotta move a little quicker here. So this is my automatic water change system. 2 koi angelfish. These tanks here are all gonna be 29 gallon tanks. 29 highs, I think they call them. They're all drilled. They all have automatic water change, but the racks for these, if you wanted to buy this whole row or something like that, it's a really good setup. It's just these cinder blocks and 2x4s, but you can tell there's no bowing. It's just a great setup, in my opinion. And there's no real wasted space. I just put stuff there sometimes, but anyways, I'm going to try to show off these fish. These are the adult, and she actually lost a little weight. I wonder if that's a good thing. She's been egg bound for a long time. These are the Philippine blue zebra adults, and I don't really breed them anymore. I just keep the slates in here. The slates can go with the tanks if you really want a slate. You know, normally they're $10 to $20 a piece. These are the acrylic ones. They work super good. Anubias, just different filters in here. These are just random filters, always a box filter. So this is a 30 gallon tank, also has a heater. I like to keep this tank a little warmer. They came from a warmer tank when I first got them. Wonder why that light's not on. Let me go turn that on real quick. You can see this row. This is all 20 gallon longs. 20 gallon longs. That's a 5 gallon. And then these are all 29 gallons. So I'd like to sell this whole rack, which is a very large rack. We'll go back here, kind of try to keep in order. Albino Galaxy Guppies. This is a really nice breeding tank of Albino Galaxy Guppies. Tons of juveniles, little ones. Some pretty nice adults growing up here. And Java Moss, Java Fern. Babies kind of hide in this stuff. And yeah, that's one of the 29 gallons there. Everything, all these 29 gallons have the custom lids, just like this. And then I'm selling these totes of plants too, so if you want to flip some plants or add all the plants to your tank or something. These are all males, Apache peacocks, so they're just growing up in here, and this guy's definitely the dominant one. All the rest of them lost their color, but they had color. That guy's kind of a jerk. Or he's acting like it in this tank. So 29 gallon tank, that one's got a couple filters, couple decorations, couple filters, couple decorations. These are all juvenile rainbow fish. There's millenniums, turquoise, and dwarf blue neons, which are all easy to tell apart. You can see that's a millennium male back there, but even the females are very easy to tell apart compared to those other two types of rainbow fish. So this could be a really pretty starter 75 gallon tank or 55 gallon tank for a living room. Yep, nothing special in this tank, just gravel, a few decorations, filters, and then rainbow fish. And they could use a bigger tank to keep growing. These are more Red Empress juveniles, nothing special to show here. All these tanks are blue basically, all these 29 gallons. A few of them, like these two, they have the plastic background, I think. Yeah, they do. So I just taped the plastic background to those ones. Some of the other ones are painted. These are Lake Victorian, and they don't like me having the camera out right now. Those are the Christmas Fulus. That's my last group of Christmas Fulus I'd like to get rid of. These are Fire Ugandas from Lake Victoria. I'd like to move this group to a bigger tank. Really pretty fish. I've sold all the males with them. So this is a breeding group, Fire Ugandas. They're only in a 20-gallon tank. They could use something bigger. This tank's empty, 20 gallons. A few more breeder boxes here. These are yellow Calvis in here. You can see those. Those were bred in-house. I think there's 4 or 5 of them in there. And this is the female. The male kind of beat her up. Yellow Calvis. Oh yeah, he tore her up pretty good. She's healing. Somebody can just have her if they have a Lake Tanganyika tank. This one's open, free 20-gallon tank, ready to rock. And you can see how each of these tanks is drilled in the back at the very top left corner. And then those hoses are hooked to piping behind it. So no big deal if you need to move them or cover up those holes. This is going to be a nice Red Empress. So this is a Red Empress group right here. A couple males in here. This guy's already looking real good. Nothing in here except 1 or 2 filters and crushed coral. This second row here, these are all custom lids. These are the blue Philippine zebra juveniles. Getting pretty good size here. Really nice angelfish. There's 1 male sulfur head in this tank. That's Hippo Point salmon right there. So this is a really nice breeding group of Hippo Point salmon. They have that salmon, that pink color. So I'd like to move on from that. They were a really popular care species a couple years ago, and I think they're probably pretty rare again. I don't think anybody else has been breeding them, and I have not been advertising them. These are just random female cichlids for the most part, I think. More swordtails with, that's what that plant's called, Subswasser tang. And Java fern, just more of my favorite types of fish in here, the yellow swordtails. So a 20-gallon tank there. 19 angelfish, my wife says. Apparently she sat here and tried to count them. But all different kinds. These are the long fin golds and some blacks in here. And some zebras. The zebras all have a little different stripe pattern to them. These are the blue Philippine zebras. They get a lot more blue in them as they get older. These are the dwarf neon rainbow fish adults. Not the best pictures of them, but 20-gallon tanks on all these. Just a little 5-gallon tank full of Santa Maria Endlers. These are actually some of my best Santa Marias. I haven't been doing the best job culling them, but when I did cull them, I brought my best here to start over. So they're nice. Empty tank there, a few blue dolphins here. These are all basically the same. These are there's one weird fish there. Oh, there is a male in here. It took long enough for these guys to get color. These are the red-tailed Godiads, but these ones are pretty special. I should move them to a smaller tank to get them to breed. I think they might even be pregnant. That female back there looks pregnant. But it's a small group. There's only 4 or 5 of them, but I have the collection point for these ones. And this one was always funny. Since I got him, he had a bent, crooked tail. But I think there's 4 adults in here. They come out to eat every day, and 1 male, and that's definitely a female, so she does look pregnant. So that'd be a cool group to... Oh, jeez. Wolf spider. Wolf spider. Smush. Oh, I didn't get him. He's just a little guy. I'll leave him alone. Sorry. That is a long video, huh? What else? Nothing else to show here. There's open tank here I could put fish in. Oh, this is a nice tank. More of the Red Empress. There's a bunch of males in here. There's at least 2 good males. Whoops. And, oh, I just ruined it. So, the Red Empress Haps. That one's looking pretty good. And, yeah, there's, oh, these ones right here. So these are Pundamilla macrocephala. These could use a new tank and a new owner. Took me a long time to get this fish. They're really dark black with red on their fins and tails. Lake Tanganyika. Wish the camera would zoom in a little better on these guys. Not Lake Tanganyika, Lake Victoria. And they're not horribly aggressive. I mean, all Lake Victorians are a little bit nippy, but they're cool fish. They're kind of like Hippo Point salmons here. Like, if you're into oddball cichlids, hit me up. I have some really rare stuff that took me a long time to get my hands on. So, nice pair of blue angelfish up here. These are not the blue Pinoy zebras. They're a little bit different. Big fish. They're like hand size pretty much. And they bred in here a couple times, but I haven't had any time for them. So more 30-gallon tanks with blue backgrounds. Poor lighting, but more blue Philippine zebra angelfish. 13 angelfish here. Kind of mixed bag. Some different blue Pinoy, some blue marbled, whatever you want to call them. Full tank there, and then these are more blue Philippine zebras. Some of them have the long fin also, like that guy back there. But you can tell their stripes are all a little bit different. They're really pretty angelfish and super healthy group. She said mated pair, yep. Big fish. This tank's for sale. Mac McLaughlin, you said let you know if this ever came up for sale. Box filters on each of these individualized tanks. I siliconed all this myself for individual boxes. They're all about 4 gallons a piece, I think. This is a 30-gallon tank, something like that. I don't know. This is it was a custom, not an Aqueon. So they're all individualized chambers. You can fill them to whatever water level you want and put whatever fish. I raised a lot of rainbow fish in them. So I just have the towel over here just to keep the light off because I don't want to get more algae in this tank. There's no fish in here right now. Just some spawning mops and the filters. And then this one right here. So the rack for this one, if somebody wanted to buy that, it would be really cool if you bought this 29-gallon also. So it's got an old school light, LED hood. Just some more blue Philippine zebra angelfish in here, not a whole lot. And this final tank here, this is a 60-gallon and the glare is really bad, but there he goes. Chilo Tilapia Uchillis. He bred with his female for the first time about a month ago. He's got 2 females in there, and I've been growing them for over 2 years. Let me see if I can't zoom in on them. Really pretty hap. They get big. And he's not like colored up right now or anything, but really cool fish. 2 females in here with them. One of them was holding. I just didn't have time to take the eggs, glass lids, junk. And I think that's it. So the upstairs tanks, everything down here. If like I said, what I'm really looking for is 1 or 2 people who are either really interested in fish at wholesale prices. If you only want to buy 3 or 4 fish, you're not going to get wholesale prices. But if you want to bring over buckets and fill buckets, I'll give them to you really dirt cheap. I want to get rid of them. I'd love to just sell the fish with the tanks. I know that's very difficult to do. Most people aren't really interested in that, but there's certain tanks here that you can just turn around and flip the fish, make pretty good money right off the bat, especially with some of these plants in here. I mean, some of these Anubias chunks, Java Fern. This thing's packed full of Java Fern, Java Moss, and all these tanks. I know, just got to find the person with the time, and that's not me right now. So these right here, if you're interested in something like this is packed full of Anubias. I just cut the roots, trim the roots up a little bit off these chunks when I do them. I'll split the rhizomes and then put the Anubias directly in the tanks. You know, that's where all my plants come from. So this tote is packed full of Anubias. And they're kind of flowering. They'll continue to flower a little bit in the tanks. But if you're local, you want this, $50. You get the tote, they're ready to go. These ones I'll do $40. We didn't keep up on watering that one as much. I'm starting to water it a little bit more, but this is Java Fern. It's like so packed it's folding over right now. So we have 4 different totes. So if somebody wants it, $150, come grab all 4 totes. Put a lot of work, time, effort into those, and there's a lot of plants that you could probably flip for double the money, so, or more. All right, everybody, I'm sorry that time is short, but I'm sure I'll still keep fish in some extent, but I have to get rid of some of this stuff. So hit me up, do me a favor, make me an offer. Local only. I can't ship. I have no time to ship unless you can pay somebody around to ship it to you. That's I'll be no part of that, but I'll sell it local. Everything's for sale. Every single rack you saw, every single decoration. There's certain things that have to sell first. For example, I can't sell the stands before I sell the fish and the tanks. But if we'll make it work. If you're interested in any of this, or you want to start up a garage business or make a little bit extra money, there's money to be made. It's especially if you're passionate about it. I'll talk to you, give you all my tips and tricks. If you've watched my videos for any amount of time, you know I haven't lost many fish. I'm really good at keeping them, really good at selling them at swaps, and people know the quality of them, and it's not hard. You just have to have some time to do it. So, all right. Take care, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay fishy, and enjoy whatever hobbies you're doing, and spend time with family. So talk to everybody later. Bye.